Hey, I'm Suzy, and welcome to 30 Minutes of Dance. Today's class is a dancer cross-training workout where we will focus on stretching from the center. So clear your space, have water nearby. I'll be using a yoga mat today, a block and a strap, but you're welcome to work on the rug. We'll start standing and then we'll come down onto our backs, and you can use a pillow instead of a block if you don't have, and a hand towel maybe rather than a strap. They're all just there to help support, but you are enough. So join me. I'm barefoot, kick off your shoes and feel free, or wear tennis shoes, ballet shoes, any sort of dance shoe, socks even. It all works here today. So articulating through the feet, just an easy weight shift side to side with maybe a little flick of the toes, and maybe flicking off anything you need to release to start, so that you carve out this pocket of time just for you to take care of yourself. Reach up with front arm and kick out the opposite leg. Breathing in and out. So all of this is kind of sending energy out from the center into the limbs, getting a feel for how your body is willing and wanting to move. Now crossing over with a point and a flick of the arms. Yeah, and it can be as deep and tall and reaching, lifting up and out of the center as you like, or it's enough to be right here. Yeah, every day is different. So honor how you're feeling today. And what's at the center is the breath, right? The lungs, the core, all the muscles that make up your center, and the torso, front to back, all around. It's not just your abs. Yeah. So let's think about how the breath is the center of all our movement. Yeah, as it goes side to side. Stretching out into like a big yawn, and then come back through the middle in a star shape here. Reach up and let the hips sway side to side. And then reaching down through one arm, and then down through the other arm. Hips still moving. Reach up and up. And then down and down. One more. Reaching the right arm. And then come back through center. Hip circles, bend the knees. Arms can reach back, or maybe hands on the hips helps you feel more connected. Other side. Feel a weight shift. As you center your weight over one leg or the other, go back to the right and shift the weight to the right leg. So you're on the standing leg, and then shift, drop, swing left, circle left. So there's balance, but you got a toe in the sand. Come back to the side. Now this time, circle left, so the left leg is with you. Switch the direction. Okay, you're on the tip of the toe there. Back to the middle, and then right leg circling. And then switch the direction. Warming up from the center out, just letting these currents of energy move from your breath, from your core, into the limbs, back to the center. Inhale, swing, and swing. And I'm backing up a little just to get closer to the mat here. You might take it forward and back if you have room. Again, just touch, a little toe tap. Feeling that side shift off center, and then off center. Maybe take it through the hips and up, through the hips and up. Hips, shift and lift. Now the outer leg is lifting. Yeah. Oh, maybe there's even something in the middle there. Woo. As you push off to the side, feel that rebound. Parallel rebound by the suspension. And there's some muscular effort to lift the leg, but it's fun, right? Shifting in, almost falling overboard. One more each side. And now, give yourself a little pat there on the outer hips. Now we've woken them up. Let's turn out, first position. Easy plie, just pulsing here. All right, zipping up from your center. And then notice how it feels. Taking the arms out to the side, still hugging the energy in front. Yeah, that's not a thing, but you could do it. And then reaching up. Have the vibration coming up from the ground. Feel the blood moving into the legs, getting everything circulating. And then bring it back to center. Excellent. Reach out to the side. Push off, slightly turned out. Now we're gonna reach side bend up and over. All right, so we wanna feel as if we're containing the energy in the middle here. As you come into the side bend, feel free to cinch the waist with the left hand. And then come up and turn and rotate toward the left leg. So a little shift there in the rib cage. Bend the right leg and turn slightly. And then bend the right leg, turning to the left. So you're angling the torso over the left leg. And then reach out, up and out here. So not over, it doesn't have to be, you know, this hinge necessarily. Just reaching for something in a high shelf. And then come back to center and release. Inhale, you're gonna shift and lift. Right hand cinches the waist. Lift up and out of the left side. And as you're reaching up and out, just check in. Is there any tightness in your jaw or your neck? And try to release that. Then come up and turn. So turning and twisting towards the diagonal. And then bend the opposite leg. So you reach even further up and out, right? So turn and twist and bend. Turn and twist. All right, so each time you're getting taller, taller, taller. One more time. Ooh, tailbone down. And then bend the leg. Back to the center. Hips shift. Okay, let's walk it back towards your mat or your space on the floor. And then as you come to the mat, step up to the top for a moment. Inhale, reach the arms up, feet are hips width. So up on the diagonal, yeah, thumbs up. And doesn't have to be overhead. See what feels good in your body. And then send the hips back like you're sitting in a chair rather than forward, right? So send the hips back and you're gonna feel that reach from the hip to the fingertips. And then come back up, circle the arms down by your side. Sit down into the chair, up and around. All right, circulating the energy up and around, pressing the hips slightly forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more. All right, feel how your belly wants to kind of shift forward when you do this. Can you pull in and pull up? Take the hands to your thighs. And then right shoulder and knee. Left knee bends and the left shoulder comes slightly forward. So I have a bit of weight in my hands. You don't have to. You could take one hand to the hip, one hand to the thigh. So you're opening the twist up here, this easy spinal rotation. Now maybe even reach forward and forward to the other side. So the knee bend, you're gonna reach with that arm. Strong at your center so you can extend the arms from the lungs, from the rib cage. And you're massaging the low back here. One more with the left side. Come back to center. Now, interlace the hands behind you, but that can be really, some days hard to get to. So that is where the strap comes in handy, or a hand towel, or a bathrobe tie. And you can, I'll turn just so you can see. So you can widen your grip here, roll the shoulders down, and just try to pull the strap apart. When you do this, there's a tendency to push the belly forward, for me anyway. So see if you might stay aligned, hips, ribs, shoulders, all stacked. So you're not being overwhelmed here. Instead, you're containing your energy and you're opening up from the collarbones, pulling down from the shoulder blades. The head might want to jut forward. You can you retract the skull, just pull it right on top. Everything's on line. And then shrug the shoulders down. Bend the right leg and open the chest. And then bend the left leg, open the chest. So the hips are pulling back in alignment, yeah? Or in balance with the opposite leg moving forward. Arms are strong and straight. You're just punching down through the hands to create this movement in the torso and this broadening across the collarbones. Good. Bend your knees back through the center. Keep pulling the arms away. Sit back toward chair. This may be you stay where you stay, or you might tip slightly forward. Again, sense that you're moving from the hip creases, sending the tailbone up, the belly engaged, rather than any rounding. You don't want to round the back here. So it comes from the chair, and then it pushes towards the balls of the feet. You may not straighten your legs. It's okay. See if you can straighten your arms instead and keep your head on your spine. Pull the navel off your thighs. Saying that for myself too. And then exhale. Push through. You're going to drive the hips forward and then whoo, let the arms go. Set your block off to the side. And when you do so, let's come down to hands and knees. If you need to use a chair to place your hands, you could use the block to assist and bring the floor closer to you. But step back into a lunge with your lucky leg and then come to hands and knees. If your knees are sensitive, fold the mat over or use a blanket. And then circling the head and the tail, just very small, almost like you're drawing a circle with your nose at the top of your mat there. And circle the hips. So very subtle with the head, maybe larger circles for the hips and the low back. Switch the direction. So you're churning the energy. And if you're like, what direction? Was there even one? It's all good. Okay, come back to center. Now bring the knees slightly wider and the big toes toward one another. Any amount, you're gonna press the weight back towards your hips. It matters not if you're here or if your tail's touching the heels. It's you, your body, taking care of yourself today. If you wanna come off the hands, you could always take the forearms down. And we're just checking in with the low back and how to release into this. Walk the hands in slightly closer. Perhaps you could stay on the forearms. And then soften. Let's take a few deep breaths. In through the nose. And then when you breathe out through the nose, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Find that corset-like contraction at the bottom of the exhale, where you're gathered, everything's contained, you feel strong at your center. And we can find that work simply by breathing. And then we'll find it with a bit more movement now as you come forward. Hands and knees. You can also do forearms and knees for this. So up to you. Send your right leg back and pull your navel in. So just that. You're gonna push the floor away some and then reach through the heel like someone's pulling your leg and then pull with the hands and pull in with the core. Push through the heel, pull with the hands, zip it up through your center, and then switch legs. So we're reaching through the heel, getting into the back of the leg, Achilles here, and then as you pull in and pull up, and then release a little and reach back through the heel. Pull with the arms and zip up the belly. And again, reach. Good. One more. Pull in and relax. From here, come onto your forearms and walk your knees back. And then slowly, belly button's the last thing to land. Come toward your forearms onto your belly. When you get there, we'll come to Sphinx pose. And this may feel, good to have the hands in a little closer to the body so that you're not like slumping here. Not that you would slump ever, but so feel like you're stacked in a line, the shoulder joint, the elbow in the same line here. And then exhale, try to pull your belly button off the floor. Try to pull your low belly off the floor, maybe even your pelvis off the floor and your thighs. And then come back down. Oh my goodness. Reach the arms way out in front. And then from here, wiggle, wag, let your head hang. Resting your head on the floor or your hands. Bend your knees, windshield wiper the legs. Good. Bring your legs a bit more together so they're as wide as your hips, and then come back up onto your forearms. From here, curl your toes under and see if you can lift up again right away into this variation on a plank. All right, so we're strengthening the center. We're pulling the limbs into the center, and then woo, come back down, lie down again. This time you can rest, yes, or you can take your thumbs up, pick up your right, first we're gonna reach the right arm and the left leg in opposite directions, like someone's pulling your arm and pulling your leg. Now pull your navel in and float the right arm and the left leg up. Keep your head floating on your spine. And then come back down. Someone's pulling your left arm and your right leg, and you reach out, and then pull the navel in and lift the left arm and the right leg. And then come back through center. Head can rest on the floor. You might stay there and just wiggle to release the low back. Or let's try a couple more, yes? Right arm, left leg, float. Try to tuck the rib cage in towards the pelvis and release. And then left arm and right leg, so we're alternating. You could keep your head on the floor a little if you need, or you could even use the opposite hand to support, right? Always want to keep your neck supported, no extra stress there. One more each side, right? So I'm kind of building a little tent there for my forehead. So you always have options. Find the one that's for you. Wiggle, press it back, come to your forearms. This time, curl your toes under again. You're gonna pull the belly button off the floor, maybe pull your knees off the floor too. And then exhale, let it all go. Pressing the hands back by your side. This is Cobra pose. Shrugging the shoulders and pressing back towards Child's pose again. When you get there, pause, take a breath, and then crawling your way forward. So I'm gonna use a block today under my hand for these variations. You don't have to. It just kind of helps to feel the support to elevate the right hand on the block, turning to the right knee so that you can keep this long line. Sometimes when we're on the floor, we kind of round. So maybe let's get elevated. Yeah, a little lift off here as you take the right hand to stack directly under the right shoulder. Now we're stretching from the center. We're gonna open up, left hand, left leg starts to float. If that's too much, that's why we did that work on the outer thigh, right? These guys are already ready. They're awake. They want to doing this. Yeah, so lift up if you can. And then maybe this hand checks in with the body, like, okay, is my belly pulled in? Am I corseting my energy? Am I reaching maybe the arm and the leg in opposite directions? You just did this on your belly. Let's see. Yeah, take a breath. Take the leg a little higher maybe, and then take the arm by your side, plant the foot, exhale. You're gonna come back through center, pause in the middle. The arms will feel quite different. Now you could come into Child's pose if you want, or if you want to come off the knees, there's an option to step outside your mat so that your weight's not all in your hands. So you go really wide, well, wide-ish, yeah, wider than your mat. And then you can use whatever support you need here just to come off the knees in between sides. Good, then crawl your way back forwards. This is, building blocks towards a down dog if you were doing yoga, and then coming to all fours. It's all a dance, yes. And then place your left hand underneath your heart, and you're gonna come to transition. So left hand's perhaps on the block, but again, you don't need the block. It's just helpful. We all need a little help from time to time. So as we align, shoulder over wrist, extend your right arm up to the sky. Push through the right outer edge of the foot and breathe. This may be where you stay. If you can, engage, lifting the outer hip, reaching up and over, and then pull the shoulder and the hip toward one another so you can compact the shape wherever you are. And again, it could be on the ground, maybe high, maybe even a little higher now that we've been in it. Tailbone moves toward your heel. And then release. Put your foot back down. Slow in these transitions, coming back, hands to the floor, slowly adjusting the knees so you've got your footing there. And then child's pose or weight shift. Curl the toes under, one foot, other foot, wider than your mat. And then take the weight into your legs. Breathe in, breathe out. So I have my hands on my knees just so that I'm mindful I don't have to stress through the shoulders in any way. Coming back to the middle. And then crawl it back out. Stepping your way back on. One knee down, other knee down. Child's pose, so we hit the reset button for our low back. So we'll take one more pass at this and stay with the first variation. If you need, you can always keep the hands on the body. I find it's really helpful, to get a sense of where like the pelvis is, the pelvic bowl if I'm tipping the energy out, or if I feel like I can lift up through the low belly and send the tailbone down. So maybe you finesse this in a way as we come to the second side, where you check in, right hand on the block, but underneath you, and then pick up the knee to turn and adjust, extend, right? So again, let me check in, tailbone to heel, frontal hip points are lifting, and then from here, it's a big reach in alignment, up and over. Feel as though you're pulling the block in towards the body. Now, stay here, or get playful. If you like, you could bring the knee forward. You could push the heel back. Bring the knee forward, push the heel back. You might even reach for your thigh. Again, check in. Did I reach for my thigh and my belly fell forward? Can you send your tailbone down a little more? Maybe even reach for the ankle. It's pretty far away, but it's an option. Yeah, maybe. You might have to look at it like, where'd it go? And then perhaps you can come into a bow shape here, kicking. But again, this is enough. Exhale, come on down. Shift and lift, so you're gonna turn, bring your knees down. Get the weight in your hands before you adjust the knees. And again, sit back. Right away, you could curl under, walk it out. Again, from your center, the limbs are just pouring down into the earth. And then come on board, knees down. Last round here, left hand on the block. Again, you put the weight in the hand so you can adjust, pick up the knee to turn it, and then step out to the side. All right, this variation on plank, side plank here. And then you're gonna reach up and out. Again, check in, front body, back body, deep breath. Sits bones moving towards the heel, and then you could bend the knee in, and then swing the heel back. Kick the knee in, swing the heel back. Good, and then from here, as you swing back, maybe you take the hands to check in. Okay, did I push everything forward? Am I in alignment? Am I moving and stretching from my center? If you get a hold of the foot, kick into it. If you don't, maybe hold on to your pant leg and open up your breath. Imagine you still had the strap in your hands and you're sort of pushing down through the hands. release, square off, take the knees down, adjust crawling hands and knees. Last time, curl your toes under, walk the feet wide, walk your hands in, easy knees. And then from here, crawl it back down, step on board. All right, just learning how to come in and out of the ground from your center. Shift off to your side. Good, take a moment here just to reset, and we'll set the block off to the side. Have your props nearby and handy. And let's come to side lie and come onto your back for just a moment. Ah, that feels good, right? So once you lie down, you have the block handy. Done a lot of work sort of in this same line of action. Now we're gonna open the hips to release. So you can do this on your back with the legs in butterfly. You could put a block under each hip, each knee, a pillow even. If your knees are really high, it's very helpful to put something underneath each side. Yeah, now she tells us, right? But another way to do this, and it might be even more of an opening for the inner thighs, the groin, the pelvis also, is to put the block underneath your pelvis. So you lift into bridge, you can hang out here. You can turn one leg out. Just notice, how does that feel? Using the block as like a massage tool, even rocking here. Maybe plant the foot, try the other side, let it fall open. Again, easy rocking, might feel good. If it's cranky on your bones, don't do it, right? Be gentle with yourself. Plant both feet, option to stay here, turning the toes in. Walk the feet slightly wider, release the low back. If that feels good, stay, or if you're interested, come to butterfly shape for 3 breaths. If it feels congested at all in your low back, gotta tuck the tail under towards the heels. We're on a slant, so it's okay to kind of do that to reset. Deepest breath of the day. Just feel your center opening up, the energy expanding out into the arms, into the legs. And then plant your feet on the floor one at a time. Take your time to do that. Again, you can stay here, or if it feels interesting, to stretch the legs up to the sky one at a time. Sometimes at work on the knees, it feels good to elevate the legs afterwards because the blood's pooling in this area. So now we want to let it all drain and move into this well of support. It's all going to be well. This well at the pelvis. Maybe both knees. Kick up to the sky. If you come into this and you're like, it's a lot of work, it can be, but we don't want it to be. Not at this stage. So one leg at a time, or bend them. Relax. Lift the hips. Come down, setting the block off to the side. And then roll to your side. From your side, come to all fours. Oh, we were here before. From all fours, take a gentle step forward. One foot. Curl the toes under, other foot. Again, use a chair if you need. Use your own body to help support coming up with a long, tall spine. As you roll the shoulders, you come to stand, opening up into a wide base on your mat. Turn the toes out some. And then we just extend into this opening shape we were exploring. One arm up, other arm up. Let's reach and bend. And notice how much more connected you feel at your center. Let's go side to side. This is a wider base perhaps than you started with, but notice it doesn't feel too big, not too wide. Now let's reach across. Oh, and you feel there's some connection at your core, the muscles of the back, scooping and bringing you across. And then let's reach down towards one knee to say thank you, and the other knee to say thank you. Side to side. Walk the hands like up the back, releasing the low back and the knees. And then take your hands to your center, to your belly, still going side to side. And deep plie. Take the hands to the thighs, one shoulder forward, hinge at the hips, let the hips sink back some. One shoulder. Go lower perhaps, other side. Good, and then deep plie. Ooh, stand tall. Heel toe the feet in. Coming to parallel, take a side bend. So now we'll test our balance here. Yeah, so moving from your core, come into this elbow shift, and then pull the weight up off your right foot, and you're gonna squeeze the elbow in and bring the knee up. And then shift the weight, reach up and over, left arm, elbow in. So we contract the side waist, we're, in this shift here with the weight, and then bend the standing leg. You're gonna plug the elbow in, and that helps you feel connected to lift in this parallel passe. All right, so it's a dance. We're gonna reach up, elbow in, pull, shift, pick it up, and then woo, step out. Plant both feet. Inhale, left arm. Good. Elbow in, push off, bring it up, and then big step out to the side, right? So all that work in the outer hips is coming in handy here. Inhale, right arm. So it's a wide stride now. We're gonna bring into the elbow and then push off, bring it in and up, and then big step out, back to center. Good, left arm up, elbow in. From here, you're gonna push off, bring it in and up, and then sweep. Excellent, back to the middle. Let's turn to the right, parallel, fourth position parallel, wrap the arms, and then just swing it out. So balancing, swinging it out, arms around the side, give yourself a hug, maybe take it up higher, maybe up and over. Woo! Yay! Come back through the middle, hips, and then let's turn to the other side. Parallel fourth. Inhale, you're gonna sweep the arms, hug and wrap. Let this swing up a little higher until woo, you're up, celebrating. Excellent. And then bring it back to the middle and circle. Now just circle the hips. And then switch the direction. Good, bringing it back to the middle. Inhale. Exhale, push off, step in. 2 feet are one. Now all of this work, stretching out from the center. You're in parallel first. Let's come to passe with some jazz hands. And then see if you can pull up a little higher from your center. Yeah, go with the wobbles. And then stretch the leg out in front and bring it in. Stretch the leg out to the side, parallel, and bring it in. And then stretch it back. Arms up. And other side. All right, so parallel. Extend from the center. Arms are just playful. Take it out parallel. Stretch. Back to the middle, high passe. And then reach for the stars. Woo-hoo-hoo. And scene. You gotta go for it sometimes. Thank you so much for dancing with me today, for stretching from your center and putting your energy out there. I'm Suzy. Have a beautiful day.